Hello and welcome as it is the end of the fourth day of January 2018. Let's take a look at hockey for Saturday, the 5th, as the two selections for today. 4 minutes and 43 seconds to play in the third period as of the recording of this video, 9:29 p.m. Eastern Time. Penguins lead 3-0. I'm laying a goal and a half on Pittsburgh. That is looking like a victory. Obviously, it will be a bad beat if it doesn't. My Canadian Hockey League score looking would be a bad beat, or a good beat if I win, rather. I have Kitchener laying 2.5, but with 15 minutes to play in the third, I'm going to need a miracle. Kitchener did score to make it 3-2, but Owen Sound just scored to tie it up. A lot of teams, especially at home, are winning by 3 goals or more. On tonight, not the case. I was even thinking Erie was probably going to beat Niagara tonight, and they did. Niagara were the favorites. There are games for tomorrow, and this is interesting. This tells you there's a big chance, and a lot of times in here you'll see the goal come in right after it. This is right there. Yeah, London just scored. That is so phenomenal how that happened. So Peterborough's now got a big chance against the Kingston Frontenacs, and they score. They score. That probably was an empty net goal. Of course, I'm not in that game, but anyway, as it stands right now, that is the action. Be a profitable day because when you're playing plus 2, 3, 400 lines, and that's exactly going to be the case on Saturday. A lot of high value I see on Saturday's card. So, without further ado, let's get started. First game on the slate, the Minnesota Wild going into Ottawa to take on the Ottawa Senators. Anders Nilsson will start most likely against Evan Dubnyk. Minnesota's coming off a win in Toronto a couple days ago. They've been having a difficult time scoring goals. Ottawa is just a terrible team. I don't know if I said Vancouver as the opponent just because I'm looking at a Vancouver jersey, but yeah, it's Minnesota and Ottawa. Ottawa is just a terrible team. I don't see any value in this game, but there's a lot of games that I do. There's going to be a lot of plays. Calgary and Philadelphia, I find value in this contest. The Calgary Flames are they're a team you want to back, especially laying a goal and a half, and this is going to be the case here. Getting over 2-1 odds on the Calgary Flames, laying a goal and a half. We can see it's plus 203 here. I'm getting a bit better than a line on that. And with overnight lines, the night before, sometimes you're going to have that a little juiced, and sometimes you're not going to get the line that you're looking for. And in the case of the Tampa Bay game later on, that is such. But in here, and especially when you know that the public is going to be on one side, I just want to take it now. So that's what I'm doing with the Calgary Flames, taking them laying a goal and a half. When we take a look at some statistics, this is teams playing with the empty net behind them. So the Calgary Flames, again, are taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. So let's take a look at the Philadelphia Flyers in here. They have allowed 7 goals and 14 opportunities. That's relatively average. But the one team that is better than anybody in the league when they're facing the empty net is the Calgary Flames. So let me just put in playing against the empty net. They have scored 13 on 18 opportunities. This information is very, very important. And with guys like Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan, they just obviously have to be good at doing the deed, at getting that puck in the empty net when the team in the last 2 minutes decides to pull their goalie. So the play is going to be on the Calgary Flames laying the goal and a half. And I have some notes that I've written for the game. And within such, again, it's hard not to take Calgary minus 1.5. 3 of 5 and 5 of the last road games, period. Not when they win, but period, are by 2 goals or more. And again, Philadelphia is a really, really cold team. Next up, we got the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are playing right now. Let's just see how they're doing. They're in a close affair And Pittsburgh just pretty much sealed the deal. Columbus is trailing 3-2 against Carolina. And I had an opinion play on Columbus for this game on the money line. And really, the goal didn't even win by 1.5 because the problem was the line movement. I wanted Columbus at minus 105 or better, and there was no way I was getting that. So I didn't even take any of the such. They are a very, very tired team. Well, that doesn't mean they're going to lose. I don't see any value in this game, so I'm just going to pass it. Now, Nashville, Montreal is a different story. Montreal's playing very, very good hockey. And I can see here that the minus 1.5 is at plus 230. I'm hoping to get a better line. And it's I just got great minus 1.5 for Montreal. They're playing well. Nashville has won some games, but they didn't really play anyone of real greatness. So I'm gonna be taking Montreal, but I'm gonna wait until the morning to put the wager in. This one is probably going to be even wait until puck drop or 6 p.m. Eastern time or something in the afternoon. Michael Hutchinson will get his second consecutive start for the Toronto Maple Leafs. This season, 1-2-2, 4.17 goals against average. Leafs are heavy favorites in this game. They have lost 2 consecutive games in a row. They are 1-4 this season when they are coming off a loss with 1 day rest, which is the situation that they are facing. And they play the higher scoring games, something in which I'm going to be looking for laying a goal and a half. Now, where I play on Cloud Bet, there is 1.5 puck lines for each team. I'm going to lay 1.5 goals. Not take, lay a goal and a half on the Vancouver Canucks. I'm expecting a price. Ooh, man, I'm expecting close to plus 500. I got to get at least plus 450. But the value is tremendous amongst such. And that is where we're going to play it. With the goaltending issue, Frederik Andersen injury is big for the Maple Leafs. It is really, really. He has been a huge, huge help to this team, making a lot of big saves. The All-Star Game rosters have just been announced, and there's a lot of players on Toronto that were deserving of the All-Star Game. Only 2 got in. Those were John Tavares and Austin Matthews. Morgan Rielly still may get in on a vote situation. He deserves to get in as well. Frederik Andersen, the goalie, deserves to get in. He was not in. And Mitchell Marner should be in. He's not in. It's a very good Toronto team. Vancouver has been one of the teams you expected to be competing for the first overall draft pick. Instead, they're competing to try to make the playoffs. So they're a much improved team. Toronto is obviously capable of losing on any given night. And when I'm getting odds that I'll be getting for them to win by multiple goals, it's totally worth the play. The Buffalo Bruins are heading into Boston to take on the Boston Bruins. And Jack Eichel out for the Buffalo Sabres. Boston's playing a little bit better hockey. It's when you're getting plus 120 to win by 2, I really, really, really have to be extremely confident in the Boston Bruins, and I'm not confident enough to take them. I don't really want to touch the Buffalo Sabres either. I want to play Buffalo Sabres in tie games, but only against teams that I think are really match up well for it. And if Buffalo was at home to Boston, I would consider a tie matchup, but I'm not going to play that game whatsoever. That's not a play. Okay, St. Louis is bad. St. Louis is bad. Islanders are as hot as can be. And if there's ever a game you want to lay 2.5 goals on, there's going to be 2 of them, actually. And we'll talk about the next one in a couple games from now. Laying 2.5 on the Islanders. The Blues have lost several games by 3, 4, 5, 6 goals this year, especially even at home. Jake Allen has been terrible. It doesn't matter who's in net, really, for either team. And the Islanders are winning. The Islanders are the play. Let me just go through my notes. St. Louis is 0-8 with 1 day rest off of a win. Okay. Keep that in mind. I will be playing the New York Islanders laying a goal and a half. They actually have the Blues as a small favorite. So I'm probably not going to be offered a 2.5 line. But again, I'm going to be getting a line of about plus 235, plus 230. Maybe even a bit better than that. 250 on the New York Islanders minus the goal and a half. Totally a play that I like. And Edmonton, LA, I think I wrote pass on this game. I don't think I found anything. I think it's a mad game. No. LA minus 1.5. Yeah, of course. LA's. Yeah, duh. I got to be thinking clear. All right. Reason why. Well, Edmonton is falling apart. They did have a win in their last game, albeit it was against the Arizona Coyotes. So that's tough to put much credential yet into it. The Kings have been winning a lot of games. However, they have 3 losses recently against Tampa and Vegas twice. And Vegas is playing on fire. Definitely games you can say, yeah, okay. Home teams, they do quite well, winning by 2. Edmonton is just a terrible overall team, a team I like to fade. I got the Kings at home, laying a goal and a half there. And this, I like Tampa Bay laying a goal and a half. Tampa Bay laying 2.5 goals. If you can get a line laying 3.5 or 7.5, and I'm sarcastic about 7.5. Depending on the price you get on laying 3.5, I'm not sarcastic. In the last 16 games, the Tampa Bay Lightning have gotten 31 out of 32 possible points. They have trailed 0 of the last 16 games after 3 periods, with 1 overtime defeat. The average total in the games is 8. It was 5-3 on the average coming into the last game, and they win 6-2. So if the average was 8 coming into the last game, I'm not going to do any math to calculate the 16 when the average was 8 and 8 more was added. The over-under is 6.5. I'm going to be going over 7.5 on this one again. It's hit for me 2 of the last 3 times. Until the trend stops or the line makers adjust to the message of the market, I'm going to be keeping on doing this. And now they have it set where if you look at the line, it's minus 120 for Tampa and plus 100 for San Jose. So they're telling me, oh, yeah, Tampa Bay's got about a 52, 51.5% chance of winning, they're telling me. They are 15-0-1 in their last 16 games, averaging over 5 goals per game in that time. Braden Point got snubbed from the All-Star game on Tampa. That's just because Steve Stamkos and Kucherov are more popular. Kucherov might be the best player in the league. Braden Point has been playing better than Stamkos. But Stamkos is on fire as well. And then you got guys like Victor Hedman and a whole slew of other great players to throw in Andrei Vasilevsky. And their backup has got decent enough stats where I don't need to check to see who the starting goaltender is in this game. Realizing if Vasilevsky gets, if he's sitting because, well, it's just his day off, so be it. Same thing with Pittsburgh today. I didn't care if it was DeSmith or if it was Matt Murray because they're both in the spot where I like them to cover the spread. And that's the final now. And Kitchener 4-3. If they can score quickly, they can get an empty net situation for me. Go Kitchener, go. I mean, it's a bonus now if I get that. I already got the Pittsburgh win already. This game I'm betting now. At least I'm betting the -1.5 now. I'll bet. I'm not. They don't have the alternate lines where I can lay 2.5, which is something I might do as well for an extra bet. I might come into this with 3 wagers, laying a goal and a half on Tampa, laying 2.5 on Tampa, and then again on the over 7.5. But for tonight, it's -120 for Tampa Bay. It's got to be -140, -145 even by puck drop. The game starts at an unusual 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific time. But lots of value that I am seeing within this game. And just for fun, let's take a look at the Sunday card. That's like really, really early look on it. And then we're going to have another afternoon game with Ottawa, as it's going to be Carolina and the Ottawa Senators. We have the New York Rangers traveling to Arizona. Rangers have been playing well. I'm probably going to be looking to back the Rangers in this game. On the road they are. New Jersey Devils going into Vegas. Now Vegas is going to be heavy favorites. So that's already priced in. I don't know if there's going to be value there or not. Washington will be in Detroit on Sunday. I mean, Detroit is just terrible right now. Washington, they're coming off of a loss with some, and that's what I'm going to check to see. How will Washington come off of that last game that they had in defeat? And now they're on a road playing one of the bottom tier teams in the league. Dallas Stars against the Winnipeg Jets. I didn't play against Winnipeg to fade Winnipeg. It was a play because it was Pittsburgh. In fact, it was a little difficult for me to be confident enough on Pittsburgh, given that they were playing Winnipeg. But Winnipeg at home with the night off on that loss, so we'll see how they perform there. Dallas is like a meh kind of team. But Ben Bishop, he's been phenomenally well. 14-11 with a .235 goals against average. He hasn't been confirmed yet, but usually he's going to play. Okay. I mean, if you start Cam Ward, Chicago against Pittsburgh, the trend is a trend is your friend, and the trend right now for Pittsburgh is they're rolling. Chicago came off a loss yesterday, even with Dahlia at net. I don't even think it matters who the goalie is. There's a good chance I'm going to be laying a goal and a half on the Pittsburgh Penguins in this game. If they put a money line though at like -230, -240, we're going to see like a somewhere near like a minus or +120 or +110 for the puck line, and I hate those prices that are close to even odds. But if that means if I see like -1.5 +110, if I'm like really really confident, like 60%, 58% sure it's going to happen, then I will. But I have to be that sure with that price. When I'm going like today, like Tampa -1.5 +200. Okay, that's 33% confident, and that's much higher than that. So it's a no-brainer bet. Edmonton is in Anaheim to take on the Anaheim Ducks. I mean, that will a lot of it be dependent on how Edmonton plays on the Saturday night game. It will be a back-to-back for them. And they're just in bad shape right now. Outside of Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, there really isn't much going on there with Edmonton. So thank you. Okay, let's just check out. Okay, that doesn't look like a win with 2 minutes left. They pretty much. Well, I mean, the double. I've seen 2 empty net goals come along. If they can somehow, if the goalie is pulled right now, and I could put this game on the radio, but I'm not going to. I have before with Ontario Hockey League. Before in the past, but if they, I'm just going to stick with the rest of this and talk now about what I bet per game. And that is, it's a simple formula. That is 100 divided by P. That's an M. So if the price is +200, it's 100 divided by 200. If the price is +150, 100 divided by 150, so on and so forth. And I multiply that by 0.06B. And that's my bankroll. That's how I bet every single contest. If I have a stronger bet, And now that there's a minute left in this, I really needed that empty. I don't know if this is like a minute and 40 seconds, like a minute and change left. But yeah, they really needed to score pretty fast. See, here's Windsor. There's been a lot of 3-goal deficits. If you were laying 2.5 on Windsor, there you go. It almost seems every single time I see that dot on there that a goal comes after it. This site is flashscore.ca. For every single hockey league, they got information on. It's crazy what they have. You got Australia, Austria, Belarus, Canada, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Hungary, Italy, Kazakhstan, Latvia, Lithuania, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, Romania, Russia, Serbia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, Ukraine, United Kingdom, USA, and then some other stuff in Asia, Europe, and the world. Okay, so therefore, I'm going to now complete the video. They needed to make it 5-3 by now, and they didn't do so. I was at the point of needing 2 empty net goals. I'm going to be looking more again at the OHL. However, I need to see more 3-goal results. I see there was one here. There's possibly one with Oshawa. And I was even considering laying 2.5 on them. Didn't decide to do it. That's fine. And then a 3-goal win for Erie on the roads. We see these higher scoring games. That's what translates those type of results. And because I've lost 4 in a row now on the Canadian Hockey League, that's when you're playing plus 400 lines, plus 350, all those types of extremely large ones. If I can win those 30% of the time, I'm laughing. And if my record can win 40% of the time with plus 200s, let alone the ones higher than that, then I'm laughing. Well, that's if I decide to. That you can laugh whenever you want to. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.